Jack never imagined that after coming home from overtime and cooking himself a big meal, hoping to reward himself a little, he would die suddenly before getting a single bite. When he opened his eyes again, he had reincarnated as a noble in another world. Jack thought he would finally live a life without worries about food or clothing, but instead he was eating bread as hard as a rock, and drinking vegetable soup thinner than plain water. Jack thought that was already the worst thing that could happen, but it turned out things would get even worse. To host a wedding for Jack's oldest brother, his parents had nearly drained all their savings. The other three older brothers also had to move out and fend for themselves because of this, but Jack, being the youngest, was allowed to keep living at home. After saying goodbye to his three brothers, Jack realized he couldn't just do nothing and wait until adulthood, so he went to the family library to study and learn something useful. That was when Jack discovered a crystal ball, along with an instruction sheet. He picked up the sheet and found that it explained the concept of magic and how to use a mana-testing crystal ball. Seeing this, Jack immediately followed the instructions to give it a try, and to his surprise, he actually did possess mana. At the same time, Kevin, deep in the forest, sensed a strange fluctuation. Jack understood that having mana wasn't enough. He still needed proper magic books, but even after searching the shelves for a long time, he found nothing. Just then, his father suddenly pushed open the door. Jack quickly asked if there were any other books, but his father said the family's entire collection was already here, and told Jack to go gather some firewood before leaving. So Jack went into the forest to gather firewood, and imitating the magic casting scenes he remembered from TV in his past life, he kept chanting spell incantations over and over, but nothing worked. Just as Jack was feeling very discouraged, Kevin descended from the sky. He told Jack that he was a magician. Hearing that, Jack was stunned, but at that moment, a wild boar charged at them. Jack immediately tried to run, but Kevin grabbed him. Kevin then told Jack to imagine what wind magic looked like. With Kevin's guidance and the pressure of the charging boar, Jack managed to release the most basic form of wind magic, blowing the boar back several meters. But the threat wasn't over yet. Kevin stepped in front of Jack, extended one finger, and struck the boar, defeating it in a single blow. Kevin then said he wanted to take Jack as his student and teach him magic. Jack agreed immediately. Kevin proceeded to examine Jack's mana and discovered that Jack's mana exceeded his own, so Kevin decided without hesitation to impart everything he had learned in his life to Jack, and Jack didn't disappoint him. After only a few days, Jack had already mastered advanced fire magic. After finishing his fire magic training, Kevin took Jack into the sky to practice sensing and using wind magic. After sensing the presence of a flying creature, Jack released wind magic and successfully defeated it. After spending several days together, Jack noticed that Kevin's hands and feet were ice cold, but since Kevin showed no discomfort, Jack didn't think much of it. Kevin then suggested that Jack become an adventurer, because it would not only let him see the world, but also help him improve his magic. Jack was excited by the idea of adventuring with Kevin, so he immediately planned to return home and discuss it with his parents. What he didn't know was that Kevin's body was already reaching its limit. That night, Jack told his family he wanted to become an adventurer, and they fully supported his choice. Meanwhile, Kevin used all his remaining strength just to suppress the decay spreading through his body. He knew the time had come to part ways with Jack, but Jack had already learned the truth because his father told the family that someone had seen a death speaker in the forest. A death speaker was a walking corpse, its body ice cold, with all senses lost, eventually becoming a mindless monster. Hearing this, Jack immediately realized that the death speaker his father mentioned was Kevin, so Jack gathered all his mana and cast an unsteady flight spell to rush toward where Kevin was. When he saw Kevin again, Jack ran up and grabbed his hand, telling him that dangerous monsters were nearby, and begging Kevin to come take refuge at his home, and Kevin understood. He immediately revealed that he was a death speaker. Then he told Jack that he was on the verge of losing his sanity. He said it was time to give Jack his final graduation test. The test was for Jack to purify him using holy magic. Jack couldn't bring himself to harm his master and refused right away, but faced with his master's pleading, Jack finally agreed. Jack bowed deeply to Kevin, and then cast the purification spell on his master. That day, Jack personally ended his master's life, and his master left him with one final, heartfelt blessing.
ベル、人生はこれからだ。要領よく頑張って。